right, greetings everyone, and welcome back to another great episode of Office Pro TV. I'm your host, Daniel Lowry, and in today's episode, we are actually wrapping up our Excel Essentials series. It's been a long and fun journey, and we've learned a lot. Oh, we got a little bit to go, so bear with us today, and joining us in the studio to help round out our knowledge for the Essentials series, our good friend, Miss Vaughn Smith. Vaughn, we're glad to have you again. How's it going today?
It's fantastic. It's a bittersweet.
Yeah.
You're coming to the end.
Tear.
I know. Don't get me started. I'm very emotional. You know me. So.
Vaughn's going to be a puddle of tears in like 5 seconds.
But we're ending this topic and the series with managing our worksheets and our workbooks. So if you're a manager in a restaurant or a show, your job would be to, okay, you're going here, you're going there.
Verbally abuse my employees. Right. All right. Totally. I get it.
Okay, we'll make sure to never work for you. But you're putting people where they need to be.
Right.
So you're reorganizing. You go before this person, and so on and so forth. Maybe you're color coding people that are working in the morning or working in the evening, that kind of stuff. Well, we're going to do the same thing. So easy, because it really really is easy. Okay. Now, when we were using this worksheet, this is manageworksheets.xlsx, and if this looks familiar from your Navigate a workbook, that's because it is. I just renamed it because I wanted to give it a little bit different flavor and give you a new starting point, because maybe you've done some changes and you're following along and saved them. So when we have here sheet 1, 2, 3, that's very generic, and it doesn't really tell me like what this is about. So renaming your worksheets is the first thing that we're going to tackle, because this is just a list of addresses. When we were navigating, I told you to single click, because if you double click, watch what happens. It goes ahead and allows you to rename it. It is that simple. Perfect. So now that I have all the text selected, you just start typing, because it will delete everything that's already in there, and I will type in addresses. I hit enter to accept the name. You can also click off onto another tab, whichever way you feel more comfortable. But to me in Excel, enter just accepts and moves on. And there you go. It's that simple. Yay. So if I come over here to sheet 4, because this is weekly sales, how about I rename that? Double click it, and we can name this. Now, if you're typing in a character that it will not accept, it just won't let you do it. You can't see me doing this, but I'm hitting like the slash key, the /, and it's just not typing it. I think, okay, exclamation can work. Some of these others, like I tried to do like the Shift 8, the asterisk, wasn't letting me do that. So it just won't let you.
So it's got a specific set of characters that allow to use, but nothing else.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, does the exclamation? Oh, the exclamation works. So I don't remember all of them. But the nice thing is, it just won't let you.
Yeah.
It will not let you do it. And I believe if you have it as nothing, and I hit enter, yes. Okay, there we go. Oh, there. Look at theirs. There's the list.
There's the list.
Awesome. So this is where it's saying you need to make sure that it has something. Oh, it does not exceed 31 characters. Okay, there we go. And you cannot leave it blank. Perfect. So I'm glad that I did that to show you the limitations of what you need. So now it's just giving you a flashing cursor. I mean, I could just do W or a WS for a weekly sale. So it's up to you how you want to title these. Spaces, no spaces, caps, no caps, and all that kind of other things that it just won't let you do. So I will hit enter, and there are my weekly sales. Now, I mentioned the color coding. I love to color code my worksheet tabs, because I had something that I had like with the months of the year, and so every month had its own color. Like February was pink, yes, and March was green for St. Patrick's Day, right? And then April was yellow, something along those lines. So I just made sure that every sheet had a specific color that means something to you. I love color coding everything. So how do I do this? You can right-click on the Sheet tab. And there's a lot of different options that you can see within this menu that you get when you right-click on your Sheet tab. You can move or copy, which we'll be going into, and there's tab color. Perfect. Let's go ahead and make this, we'll make it green. That sounds good. And yay, perfect. Now, there are some other ways for you to do this. And sorry, before I move on, this has kind of triggered me. Now, notice when I had activated this sheet, like weekly sales, it's just kind of got a little bit of green in there because it has to give you some indication that this is the sheet that you're working with. And they usually make it white and the bold text versus like the gray and the non-bold text.
Using what looks to be Excel colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then here we've got it green. It's kind of green and white in this gradient, but as soon as you click off it, oh, there's where you see like the full color of the tab. So just to say, because a lot of people are like, that's not green. I'm like, well, it is. It just has to show you that. Perfect. So when I'm on our other sheet, you could right click. There's nothing wrong with that. But I did want to point out that this renaming and some of the things that we're going to be doing with managing our worksheets can be done on the Home tab. And over here towards the right, there is Format. And when you click on Format, there are right there, Rename Sheet, Move or Copy, and then there's that tab color there. So you can do some of the things from the right click or now that's something that you don't really control. You
It's just
can't
a
really,
contrast thing, right?
yeah.
It'd be kind of horrible to try to look at black text on a dark purple background. Not really going to be able to see it very well.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I like inspect mail pieces, like stuff that comes in the mail,
Yeah.
like all the junk mail, because I look at like the design. And since my husband works at a print shop, we're like, oh, feel this paper and like look at all this stuff. Like, oh, this is really expensive, you know, for junk mail. Sorry, it's just a thing. But if you notice, a lot of people are doing white paper with that silver ink
Oh, yes.
on the text. You can't read it.
No.
And I'm like, you have to like angle it a
Yeah,
certain
you got
way.
to catch the light, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you see that a lot for like banks or like credit cards. And he even got it. He's like, I can't read any of this. I'm like, maybe we're just getting old.
Just sign it. Just sign the thing.
So anyways, just a little diversion of, yes, don't use silver text on a white paper. That doesn't work very well. All right, where was I? Oh.
White text, white background.
Okay, yes. Oh, the sheet tabs and the colors and how you can't really control the font color. So I want to get rid of this, right-clicking on it, and you can go to delete. Let's go ahead and get rid of this particular one. But do notice this warning. Permanently delete this sheet. Are you sure you want to do this? Okay, yes, I do, because this is going to reiterate the fact, and I have this in the show notes, it's like the actual first line. Undo does not work when managing worksheet tabs. This is permanent. Okay, and it said that,
Yeah,
right?
there's a little box there that said, you do this, permanent, gone, no coming back from the dead.
Yeah, and you can see up here, like our undo button, it's not even allowing me to go backwards. So everything that I have done so far is permanent. Like I'm doing Control Z. That means the coloring, the renaming of the worksheets, the deleting, that it's done. So just know that when you save this file, now the thing you could do is like you can close the file and not save the changes, and it will redo itself. But just know that.
Depending
Undo.
on how far or how much work you've done, that might not be practical.
Correct. Yeah, this is a no undo, which is weird because it's always like, oh, don't worry about it. You can always undo. Unless you do this one.
Man, you just gave me a brilliant idea that if I was a programmer, maybe I would develop a way to where it actually created like a copied file of all the changes so that if you did permanently do something, you could switch to the copy and it was always
Yeah.
like one step behind.
Like a log file,
Yeah.
like version control,
Yeah,
like
version
for GitHub.
control. There you
yeah.
go, yeah.
The Git where you go ahead and you have your branches and then you can go
Exactly.
back. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff as
Yeah.
a coder. So yeah, that would be cool.
That would be cool. It's probably already done.
It's funny because I don't want to diverge too much, but there is a product that you can buy that basically all the things that you want Excel or Word or any Office product to do, they've created this like add-on
Ooh.
that will. It's pretty neat. I want to make like a whole episode on this. So, but I think I need to get permission to even say the name of the company first.
Okay.
So, but if you're like,
A little teaser.
yeah, a little teaser. I really want to do this because everything that I still consult, I
Yeah.
want to do that. It's like, oh, and that keeps coming up. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're telling me something here. So
I see a pattern happening.
yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to share that with you one of these days. All right. Now, keeping on moving on with our managing, I need a new sheet. Okay, I want to make a blank new worksheet in here. Well, that's probably what that plus sign means. Yep, you're right. Add a new sheet, it adds it right into. Now notice it did add it directly after the active sheet that I was on, which was the weekly sales. So it put in sheet 3, even though we thought we got rid of it, because that's the next, we have a 1 and a 2. So you can see that that's where it has added itself. Now the neat thing is here, and we'll just double click on this and just say new, just for references. It doesn't matter where I put this because I can always reorganize it. Like, okay, hey, you need to go in front of this one and you need to go behind that one. Rearranging your worksheets, it's almost too simple. Yep, you just click, hold, and drag. Now the thing you need to be careful about, here let's take our weekly sales. You gotta look for the triangle. And wherever the triangle is, when you let go, that's where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this a little bit. Click, hold, drag, see that triangle? If I wanted weekly sales to be after addresses, find that triangle, let go, and then that's where that new location of that sheet will live. So reorganizing your worksheets, I want to put new in front of sheet 1, let go, move sheet 1 between addresses and weekly sales. You can see how easy it is to go ahead and reorganize the order of your sheet tabs. Now if you get enough, here let me just go ahead and add a couple more. I was trying to get to a point. There we go. I've got a whole bunch of new sheets in here. Do you see these little buttons down at the bottom right hand? That's the other right. That would be the left. Yeah. It's where you can jump back and forth to the different sheets. So when you start getting multiple sheets, you can go into those particular ones by going back and forth. So, and you can see like the dots. And if I click to that, see it's going to take me a little bit further out, and I can keep kind of like moving, almost like screenshots, for my multiple sheets. Okay. Now we did learn in another episode how you can select multiple worksheets. So if I single clicked on sheet 10, held my shift key down to sheet 4, and then I delete all those, I can get rid of them. They didn't even give me a warning on that one.
No, did not.
So be careful about that one. You definitely need to watch that. So organizing, reorganizing, I'm just going to kind of look at my notes. Oh, what do we need to do? We need to copy. So here's our weekly sales. And maybe I need to go ahead and make a whole nother worksheet like this. Now you could go ahead and copy, select all this, copy, make a new sheet,
paste it in.
Yeah, you could do it a lot quicker if you just copied the whole worksheet. How can we do that? Right click on the sheet tab, and there is move or copy. The same way that we were dragging the sheet tabs by reorganizing it, we are moving in a sense. So you could have done it by this dialog box. Let's look at this. Move or copy. Before you do anything, if you are making a copy, check that box off at the bottom, because you see there, if you don't check that box off, you're not making a copy. You're moving it. All right, so that's the big difference between move or copy. So if I wanted to keep it within the same workbook and create a copy, and let's say move it to the end, that sounds good, but we know we could always reorganize it. Click OK. Well, there you go. Now I have weekly sales 2, and that's where you got to be careful to, okay, let's go ahead and change something really quick, like blah, blah, blah. There we go. So I know that there's the one sheet, there's the other sheet. Double click to rename it, and we can name it weekly sales -2. And then we can go ahead and change the tab color just for, because we want to. And we'll make it red, because we have been talking about Christmas cats throughout this.
Yeah.
So wonderful, much easier. Now another thing that I always do is, say I have this as my worksheet or my workbook, and I need to send the weekly sales to my boss or to somebody else, but I don't want to have them see all of my worksheets. I just want to send them an Excel file with just this one. So let's go back into that right click and move or copy, because we were talking about moving and copying within the same workbook, but obviously there's an option here of to book. You could make it into a new workbook. And so if I choose, let's go ahead and take that, move it into a new workbook. Now notice if I do not check that box off, it's like cutting it out of this file and moving it into the other. In this sense, I just want to make a copy to be able to send off. So if I check that off and then click OK, That's even better. So now I could go ahead and send it off to you, and so on and so forth. So a brand new workbook. And so moving worksheets from one workbook to a new workbook, that's great. But maybe I needed to have this particular, I'm going to close this and not save because this is book 1. It's not my other file. Maybe I needed this to be moved or copied over into an existing file. Well, in that drop down of that move and copy, you notice that the only options were the one that I'm working in and new. So what do you think I'm going to need to do before? I just did a Justin.
Yeah.
Did you see that? If anybody watched Dev Pro TV, Justin does this a lot. Like, what do I need to do? I need to open the file first. So if I did a file open, and let's say I needed to move this into browse, and we'll go to our desktop. Let's say the flash fill file. I'm just totally picking a random one. So going back over to my other workbook, right-click on weekly sales, move or copy. I want to drop this out. Now you can see that flash fill has become an option here for me to move or copy. Click OK. I'm going to check the copy box off, and there you go. Weekly sales is now in this particular file. I can move it around, and so on and so forth. So good stuff. Lots. Easy to kind of move stuff around as long as everything's open and you know where that dialog box is. Oh, and there's my other favorite. Sorry, I just did that. And he went.
She surprises herself. The note I wrote, oh, I forgot.
And then I kind of surprised you. You're like, what? So if I wanted to make a copy, instead of doing that right click, you can control drag. Remember making a move and copy? We said get to the active cell, get to the 4.0 arrows, hold control, and then drag down. Don't worry that changed. That's something different. Okay, that was a bad example. That's using relative reference in a formula. It's okay.
What you said.
Yes. Control drag your worksheet. So hold the control key, click, hold, and drag, and notice that it's kind of small, so I'll do it again. Let me zoom in. I'll take this addresses, watch the icon. Do you see how it looks like there's a plus sign in there? If I let go of the control key, there's no plus sign. So holding that control is a drag and copy of that particular worksheet tab. And so that's the easiest way, I think, or fastest way to make a copy of your worksheet. Okay, super fun. And pretty easy.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. Now we're going to move on to some different ways that you can manage, like, it's really more like of your views, of you're looking at. And for example, in this, wow, I've copied this so many times.
It's gone a little crazy.
It's getting a little crazy, that's true. This particular worksheet is a list of addresses. Now when I scroll down, when I get to here, now I only kept this to 23 rows, but if you had 23,000, right? Okay, I've lost this. Is this the last name or is this the first name? Is this?
Oh, yeah, I hate that. Hate that. You know, usually again, which one of these is the sale price versus the normal price? And I obviously those would be, but you get the idea, right? You can't tell.
And you move over to here, and you're like, oh well, now I'm on Team Claire, but who is this for, right? Well, let me tell you about freeze panes. It will take out the pain for this. Yes, it's kind of like.
I see what you did there. You.
It's like icy hot, right? So we have here. All right, love this. This is where I want to, when I move over to the right, I want to keep seeing the first and last name. When I move down, I want to be able to keep this top row. So there's a reason why I'm clicking on cell C2, because everything to the top and to the left will be frozen. Oh goodness, don't get me saying it.
You can see it welling up inside of you.
So we've got our view tab here, and from our view, we go to freeze panes. And if I just say, it says keep rows and columns visible where the rest of the worksheet scrolls based on the current selection. I click this. Notice that there's these kind of lines going on here. And watch, if I scroll on down,
That's awesome.
That stays. And if I click over to the right, oh good. So now I can say, all right, well, Alice Wonderpaws is with Team Green and Bishop Timothy is blue, and so on and so forth. So much easier. All I gotta do is scroll up and down. So that's what it means.
Why is this not the default view? Why is that something that's always on?
Well, Excel is smart, but if you're not having the information organized like this way,
oh my goodness.
But it's really easy to tell.
That's a lifesaver right there.
Yeah, I love freeze panes. And the nice thing is it doesn't matter where you're at. If you come up here and unfreeze them, there it is. Unfreeze panes, it just takes it off and everything's back to the same.
That's dumb. Put it back on.
Well, the nice thing is some of those other options, notice like freeze top row, that's just a default option. So go ahead and make the first row. I didn't even have to select anything.
Yeah.
It just does it. And the same thing with the freeze the first column. And notice that now it goes ahead and does this. But if you needed it to break up in those particular places like we wanted it to, first and second column and the first row, then you just select the cell for the whatever's to the top and the left, and that becomes your freeze. Super, super easy. Now you know where it's at.
That's worth the ticket price alone. I got to be honest with you. That's an amazing thing.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. So a few other things that you can do with your views and how you can kind of organize what you're looking at.
Now I can really micromanage my people. That's a real popular thing, too.
Oh, I know. We don't really have that here, honestly.
No, thank God.
We're just like left to our own devices.
I wouldn't be here if we did.
It is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like, just roam free,
Yes.
you know? So it's cool. So with this, there is a split. I know it's functionality. I think it's handy. I will say that it kind of throws me off to where I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. But let me show you. I'm just going to randomly select D9 for right now. Because when you're starting to move, especially if you have a really large spreadsheet, if you're moving down and around, and yeah, you can use your freeze, but if I wanted to kind of compare this area of the worksheet to this area of the worksheet, I can't really get that with my freezing. But if you split it, so let's just click here. I'm selecting my cell, and I go to split. Watch what's going to happen. Now there's this kind of split that has happened. Down here, see there's a scroll here. Up here there's a scroll, and actually behind my head you can really see it a little bit more.
Oh,
see
there's a scroll.
Yeah, so I can scroll this separately from this.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now I do start to get a little confused as to where am I right now, but if you know the information, then you can kind of see where I can get this chunk here, get that chunk here. And then if you want to move the split, see if you get the four-pointed arrows over the middle intersection, then I can go ahead and kind of reorganize it and now, or resplit it, and now I have my different scrolls to different places. So maybe if I was looking at Cheeto Sticks and Frito Socks, and I want to kind of make sure that those are over here and just keep on moving over, I can change where this is being, well, split.
Yeah.
So, and you can have independent scrolls for each part of that split. So that can be pretty handy. Again, I don't work with enough data to where this has been helpful for me personally, and it just really kind of confuses me. But then it's one of those times where I'm thinking back, I'm like, well, actually, that I could have used that split. It would have been a lot easier, but that's okay. If I want to split it, just clicking the button again will take the split off. So split, unsplit. There isn't like a drop down and say like stop splitting. It's just an on or off. It's kind of like bold and then turn it off.
Gotcha.
Okay. What else do we have? Oh, new window. This is again another way to compare your same workbook, the same file, but I need to be able to see the addresses and the weekly sales like next to each other. But in one workbook, I can't really do that. So what you do is up here in the view, there is an option for new window, and it's like open a second window for your document so you can work in the same file but in different places at the same time. So this is where you're comparing worksheets within the same file. Now watch the title bar on this one. If I go to new window, it's still manage worksheets 2. It's like a separate instance of this. So if I wanted to put addresses here and then weekly sales in the other one, now how do I get back to where I can see them? Notice right over here, there is view side by side. Instead of switching back and forth, view them side by side and makes comparing them easier. Oh, there we go. Remember that we did that in the Windows Basics where we dragged them across? It's the kind of the same
thing.
Yeah. But the nice thing about if you do it within Excel, notice that your scrolls, it scrolls synchronously. Yeah, that's a nice bonus there.
So this is really meant to do this specific function.
Yeah, so I can have, okay, I want to look at sheet 2 and sheet 5 next to each other. So I can really start comparing them. And I can scroll them. I'm scrolling them synchronously, but there is that button up here. Since now I have my real estate that's a little bit smaller, that you can even see that, okay, it looks like it's scrolling the same. So if I didn't want to, I can turn that off, and now this can scroll independently from this one. So if you didn't want the sync scrolling, you can do that, and then you can kind of move it around and be able to do things and so on and so forth, which can be really cool. So now this one is, okay, let me just go ahead and, now I don't know which file this one. Okay, that's the second instance, so I'm going to close that. Still have my same other file, and that's where I'm good to go. And some of these other ones where maybe you have, I'm going to do a new window twice just to get multiple workbooks opened, and this will be 3 iterations of that same file. If I come over to view, there are ways that you can arrange your windows. Instead of you like pulling down from the title bar to undock it and then move it around, I can have it to where I can take all of my active workbooks that are open and I can tile them, or let's go with a horizontal and click OK. You see, now this is where I don't have a very big monitor right now, and my resolution is low, so you guys can see this pretty well. But if you had a big monitor, this could be really handy. So I could move around in this file and then move around in this file differently, and so on and so forth, and just kind of put them all next to each other. Now notice that my ribbon has kind of come down into here. So if you go ahead and minimize this window and then get to where you can maximize another one, you kind of have to play around with your windows a little bit, and if you're not very comfortable with window management, if you want to say, this might start to get a little freaky. But as long as you can kind of get to the place where, oh, well, let's go back and have them all tiled, and then click OK, then this is where if I come back down, they're all still there. Oh, I got to maximize that one. So anyways, you still have your window controls from here, and you can do that from the View tab of Excel rather, like I said, than doing it like as Windows itself, and it'll let you go through there. But do remember, minimize, maximize, arranging, and we can go through all of those different ways that you can tile and arrange your windows to compare your information. And that comes to the end of my notes. So that's how we can manage our worksheets and workbooks. And like I said, we were at the end of this series, so hopefully you will stick around for the Excel Advanced series that's going to come up. Still not doing our functions or formulas. Got that in a separate episode, or a whole separate show. So I hope you've enjoyed, and it's been wonderful talking to you. And so now we'll go ahead and stop.
All right, Vaughn. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I know that I've had a great time doing this and learned a lot about Excel. Hopefully the audience has as well. We do appreciate your time and effort in putting into these shows so that we might learn. But like you said, looks like we are out of time. We do thank you for watching, though. Signing off for Office Pro TV, I've been your host, Daniel Lowry.
And I'm Vaughn Smith.
And we'll see you next time.